to our spotlight guest, Matthew, where he discusses the significance of holy items.
And how they are reminders of our faith and not just objects for superstition.
Our faith is full of tradition, especially with regards to art, statues, icons, stained glass windows, cathedrals, and also the brown scapular, the miraculous medal, the green scapular, crosses, the indulgence crucifix, all these things. Now these things are great because they're reminders, they're signs. We look at them and then they direct our attention to a higher reality. We see a statue of the Blessed Mother and we're recalled about her purity, the Immaculate Conception, her Assumption, what have you. So these things that we wear, these things that we possess, these things that we look at and we venerate, the attention doesn't stop there. The object itself, well, that doesn't do anything. Certainly it's very beautiful, it has value, it's artistic, but there's no power in that. Power comes from God. So if a sign can point our direction, our attention to God, that's what we mean. I wear a miraculous medal. I've had it since confirmation. At first, when my grandma gave it to me, I really didn't think much of it. But then I read the history and I became interested and I've just always kept it. Of course, I love the Blessed Mother very, very much. I have a great devotion to her, but not for any superstitious reasons. I mean, there are days where I just forget to put it on in the morning and I don't think, oh no, I'm going to have a bad day, bad luck will come upon me, or, bad things are going to happen, certain, misfortunes. Rather, just a reminder that the Blessed Mother is always with me, always looking out for me. So it's more like a sign, a symbol that reminds me of Mary. So it's more of a reminder that Mary's always with me, she's always protecting me, always watching out for me. Not that the medal itself or the chain or the gold or anything like that is important, but that it points beyond this world, it points to heaven.
Some of the things we believe as Christians are amazing.
We believe that Jesus rose from the dead. We believe that our souls are made pure through the waters of baptism.
We believe in the power of prayer.
Those are all pretty big ideas. We need to have faith in order to really believe in them.
But these things aren't baseless. These things all point to the power of God, who loves us and created us, who sent Jesus to save us.
We have Scripture and the traditions of the early church to teach us about these beliefs.
Can we put our hope in a medal, cross, or rosary? No. But we can put our hope in the God they represent, the Almighty.
So how is faith in God different from everyday superstition?
That's what we asked the teens on the street.
Let's take a look.
So how is faith different from superstition?
Faith is something that you believe is real, not something that you kind of believe is fake, like superstition. Like when you break a mirror, you have bad luck for 7 years.
It's strong, it'll hold you up, when superstitions are just like silly little beliefs, I feel like.
And superstitions are, I guess, old stories or old customs that they used to foretell or whatever. It's not connected with God.
Superstition, I guess, is like something that people made up, and faith is like when you believe in God, and God is real.
I think superstition is kind of being scared or nervous about something you don't really believe in, but I think faith is having a for sure belief in something and having peace in that.
How does your relationship with God help you through times of doubt and to avoid becoming superstitious?
When I speak to God in prayers or, whenever I'm feeling down, he helps me, It's always someone to talk to, and if I'm ever holding something, and I always have someone to talk to, even if physically I'm alone.
Well, my relationship with God has always carried me through the toughest times in my life. So I have faith in God, and I don't really, believe in the stupid little superstitions. I mean, sometimes you have something for good luck, but otherwise, I really don't believe in it.
Just say a quick prayer. Just ask Him to look out for me.
I just pray every night before I go to sleep, and that helps.
Sometimes when I go through a hard time, I always pray to God. And he always gives me some type of strength, some type of support.
I don't know. I think if you really think about it and you go with your faith, you'll know what what really is true.
Well, I think we all stray in the wrong path sometimes, and I know I have. And by praying to God every day, it brings you more closer to Him, and it makes you believe that He'll help you at times when you need Him.
How do you guys view your own faith?
I view my faith as kind of the central part of my life. It's always there. It supports me. It gives me morals with which to live my life, and I mean it's important to me. And I don't think it could be confused with a superstition really, because Like, even though I ask for saints' intercessions, like before I go on stage in a play or if I'm looking for something, it's still, I'm asking them to intercede on my behalf with God.
I try to avoid superstitions. You know, I remember growing up, I used to think prayer was like I had to do it a correct way, or I had to do it at a certain time, or God was going to smite me, and then I'd be, oh no, I'm in trouble, and the anger would be unleashed on me. But then I remember getting to a point in my life where I was like, you know what? Prayer is supposed to be used to get to know God and to deepen my relationship and to feel that love.
Finally, our Spotlight guest Matthew talks about how superstition has permeated the mainstream culture.
And how sometimes it can even lead down darker paths.
Superstition is one of those things that there's a spectrum of it. Now there's the innocent ones that we all know about, that we're all familiar with, knocking on wood, the black cat, breaking a mirror, 7 years bad luck or whatever. But then our society, our culture is so permeated with all these different superstitions. Walking on the boardwalk at the shore, you see stands for fortune telling, for crystal balls, for tarot card reading. In the newspapers, there's always those horoscopes. You go to a restaurant, you get a Chinese fortune cookie or whatever. People are so anxious to crack those open and see, you know, good luck or bad luck, or what are my lucky numbers? And then they run out and they play those numbers in the lottery. Why are people so quick to read their horoscope and take life advice from that, rather than seek spiritual direction, rather than go and sit before the monstrance in Eucharistic adoration and take direction from the Lord of life, from the source of life, from Jesus himself? And not only those types of superstitions that, you know, we don't even recognize, tarot cards, crystal balls, fortune tellers, horoscopes, but then the next level, which is even worse, is the Ouija boards and the occult. The devil is trying to play a trick on us all. He's trying to convince us that he doesn't exist. The devil is not going to appear with a pitchfork and horns and a red pointy tail. No, the devil's going to come first and foremost, you know, subtly in our temptations, but slowly he's going to lure us away from God through objects, through friends, and finally through blatant means such as the occult, such as tarot cards, and putting your faith in death and darkness and demons and things like that.
You know, in life, you always come to like a fork in the road, you know, and you have to choose one of the two paths. And like Matthew was saying, the devil he tries to influence you to do the wrong thing, take the wrong path. But ultimately, in the long run, faith is what's going to help you to take the right path.
Yeah, and I think it's okay to watch superstitious stuff on TV for entertainment, but you need to remember it's just TV, it's not real, so don't take it a step further in your faith.
Yeah, it seems like that's what we've got to watch out for, is just putting any kind of faith in superstitions and stuff like that, because God is the guiding force in our lives, and he wants us to do well, he wants to help us. And if we detract any kind of attention from him and put it onto superstitions, then we're losing out on some of that just amazing love that he has for us.
Yeah, we have to trust him with like those situations and stuff, that he will get us through it. And yeah,
exactly.
And even in those situations, maybe instead of looking at your daily horoscope, you could take the time to actually open the Bible and read and find the love that he has for you and actually read about it.
Yeah, like I used to be a really superstitious person. I would do knock on wood and like read my horoscopes, and I like realized that that's not what God wants. Like I have to believe in God, and I don't have to look to horoscopes to live my life and live through the horoscopes. I have to follow God.
Yeah, and if you come to think of it, someone writes that horoscope, so why would we listen to them? And like they tell us how to live our lives. Are they more powerful than God? So I think that's ridiculous that people listen to horoscopes because of that reason.
Yeah, definitely. And like what Matt was saying, the devil, he gets in there slowly, and you might start out maybe playing with a Ouija board at someone's party or something, and you don't realize it, and then you're looking at your horoscope every day, going to fortune tellers, and then it might get more serious and you just keep getting comfortable. And it can get really risky as you go down there. Yeah,
it definitely can. Like I've seen people like at school, even actually some of my family members, there was a passing that was of a person who was young, and she was close to a lot of my family members, and they like went into all that stuff. They went to those things where like you sit and you think you can hear the other people's spirits talking to them and all that stuff. And I asked them, like, how do you put faith in something like that and still believe in God? And like, it's not like they really had an answer for me, and yet they still went. So, and also like at school, you see kids who you can tell have gone down the wrong path, and you just got to pray for them that they find God and kind of like leave all the darkness behind and just move on towards the light.
As stated in Hebrews, faith is the realization of things hoped for and evidence of things not seen.
True faith is not based on fear. Rather, it is based on trust.
We see God at work in our lives, through our own gifts and talents, the love of our families, and the gifts that others are to us.
We believe in God's love and mercy because we've experienced it.
Faith doesn't mean praying because we fear being struck by lightning if we don't.
It means praying because we desire to communicate with the one who has called us to share in his life and love.
Can you distinguish faith from superstition?
We'd like to know. Contact us through our website.
The address is www.realfaithtv.com.
Or you can call us at 609-406-7402.
And we'll leave you today with this final thought.
Faith is trusting that your parachute will open when you jump.
And superstition makes God equal to rocks and socks and salt thrown over your shoulder.
Our church is not based on fear.
It's based on a hope and a promise of eternity, and a statement that says,
I believe there's more to life than what I can see.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time on
Real Faith TV.
God bless.